Hi guys, welcome back to Top Tip Tuesday. This week is going to start off a hopefully a little series of videos on fine motor skills. It's probably something you've heard of or maybe you haven't, but fine motor skills means hands, fingers, little small things. Why do children need to have that? Well, they need to have good fine motor skills. They need to have dexterity in their hands so that in terms of an academic sense, when they get to writing, they are able to pinch and grip, and actually it will massively help them with when they're doing early stages of writing. If they don't have enough dexterity or muscles in their hand, they find it really difficult to hold the pencil in the right way. They tend to do this, they can't hold on to it properly. It also helps with things like holding a knife and fork and eating. It's really important to make sure that the muscles in their hands are strong and they're able to do lots of different things. Otherwise, it's actually surprising how many things in life they will struggle with. But the main one in terms of an academic teaching sense is to do with handwriting, and being able to do that. Gross motor skills is something different. That's big movements that are often tackled in PE, like throwing and catching, spatial awareness, moving their arms, legs, that wider sense. Fine motor skills think small, fiddly, tiny things, and it's really important to develop these early on. So I'm just going to give you a couple of ideas. I've got loads of different things out in front of me. And if you head on over to the Pinterest page, that I will create to go with this, I've collated lots of ideas that actually I use Pinterest to come up with, to find ideas. So I've collated lots of ideas together. Go and have a look at that. But one of the main things would be beading and threading. So you could start with big beads and bigger things. Well, that one's actually got something in the middle of it. Not very helpful. For example, here we go. We've got a bead. It's got a fairly big hole, and I've just got some cable ties. I literally just found these in my partner's toolbox. Okay, so it's about finding things around you. You don't have to go and make anything special. Then you can do this onto bits of string or wool, which is a lot harder because these are quite hard. It's easy for them to thread them on. If they're onto string or wool, they have to really work hard to get it through the hole. So again, you can see they're having to pinch, they're having to hold onto it quite tightly, they're having to pull and push through the hole. You can then go to much smaller beads, and you can do them onto little bits of wire, onto string, and make the holes a lot smaller. So I've got a whole range of beads here. You can see I just picked these up for a fiver from somewhere. So beading and threading is one idea. Another beading one, which is actually quite good for older children, are these ironing beads. So you get a little board like that. They then have to take the beads, and there's lots of different colours. They can then arrange them into different colours, and they have to very carefully put them on there. And again, it has to be a very gentle touch. They're using that pinching action, which helps with holding a pencil. So actually, if your child's a bit older and they're struggling with handwriting and they're into craft, that's a really good thing to do. You could talk about pattern, shape, colour, all sorts of things to do with that. So that's idea number 2. Number 3, cubes. You can get these really cheap on Amazon. Happy to send you a link if you want. These are great, these specific ones, because if you can see, they've got holes on all sides, which means they can then arrange them in lots of different ways. So they might just think they're making something, you know, I want to make a rocket or a ship or whatever. You could talk about area and perimeter with these as well, if you've got an older child. Again, it's about putting them on, pulling them off, having the muscles to be able to do them. There are some other cubes that are a lot smaller. They are a lot harder to use, so again, you could migrate from one to the other. So do look carefully at what the size of the cube is, because some of them are tiny, and in the photo they look really big. Another idea, number 4, my favourite, counters. So Tiddlywinks is actually a really good game for fine motor skills because they're having to flick. But also things like throwing, pinching, gripping, along with my egg box, which I've shown you before. So throwing them into there, surprisingly, actually quite hard. They've got to try and get them back out again. Also, using tweezers. I don't have any with me right now, but tweezers are amazing, and you can get really big tweezers as well. They have to pinch with the tweezers to pick them up, place them into something, get the tweezers, put them back out. You could be combining that with numbers. If you can see, I've got numbers written, hard to tell. In the bottom of my egg box there, I want 5 in that one, 4 in that one, 3 in that one, you know, that sort of thing. I want them all arranged by colour. So it's actually combining lots of different skills. But counters, egg boxes, tweezers. And number 5, Scissor Skills. I actually got a whole load of these, I've still got the label on, from a charity shop for 50p. I got about 10 of them. These ones are particularly good because they have different pattern on. Bit of craft, bit of fun, cut stuff out. But again, a lot of children really struggle with thumb on top, fingers underneath. So they have to actually work quite hard to do that. And they need to learn to cut away from them, not they turn the paper and they cut away from them. That's a really good fine motor skill. And actually, I'm going to give you a 6th one, a bonus. This is 6 simple ways. Marbles. If you can handle them, possibly rolling away. But they're really, really good if your child is ready and they're not going to risk putting them in their mouth. Really, really good for fine motor skills. You can build little marble towers. Again, have a go with tweezers. It's really hard for them to pick up the marble with the tweezers. And they could be putting them in things, arranging them by colour, building marble runs. Again, they'll probably have to use scissors with that. So there you go. 6 simple ways to improve fine motor skills. You've got beading and threading. You've got ironing beads. You've got counters and egg boxes, tweezers, cubes, scissor cutting. Bonus 1, marbles. I will collate lots of ideas as well and put one together. And there's actually a really good... there's lots of research, or really some good research, linking sensory play to fine motor skills as well. So I'll do another video on what sensory play is and how you can link that to fine motor skills. If you want any support on thinking of ideas for your child, just get in touch with me, send me a message, drop me an email, no problem. I hope that was good and really helpful. I'll see you next week for more top tips on fine motor skills. Bye!